Hernandez Govan, count 1. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 2. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I just hit about the video, and we finna hop right into it. Today, we will be talking about Hernandez Govan. So, if you don't know who Hernandez Govan is, Hernandez Govan was the man being accused of being the mastermind behind young Dolph's death. So, we all know how young Dolph ended up coming to his demise, basically, leaving the cookie shop. We all seen the video, things of that sort. So, it's no need, to keep repeating what happened. So, RP Dolph first. But reason we are talking about Hernandez Govan is because today Hernandez Govan was found not guilty of being a mastermind. So I'm not gonna lie to you. It's usually I do a lot of cut-ups and things of that sort. I might do that in another video. If I do that in another video, it's probably gonna be discussing like the whole thing, the whole death and everything around it. But for this one, just trying to get the information out, I'm gonna just be talking on this shit. So basically, like I said, it was a lot of points that basically I would say helped get Hernandez Govan off. So to really start, the shooters, Justin Johnson, who is a straight drop, and Cornelius Smith. So Justin Johnson has already been convicted. Cornelius Smith his trial is for later this year because he is testifying. He has been testifying. So, and he testified on this case too. And I think he helped fuck the case up a little bit. So as far as Cornelius Smith going, Cornelius Smith, in the fact of, if you were one of the ones trying to convict Hovan and things of that sort, he got caught. He was kind of saying that Big Juke, Yo Gotti's older brother, who this is all going to be important later. Yo Gotti's older brother was behind it. Then he kind of got arrested and started saying Hovan was around it, and reportedly he had received 30 to 50,000 from Big Juke, like when he first got arrested. But obviously before Big Juke ended up dying. So that's the fishy part. So that already, kind of, diminishes his validity as a witness already, even though he's he used to look at him crazy already. And then he actually does end up saying that basically Hovan introduced Big Juke, basically saying Hovan was the middleman between it, which really doesn't make no sense because why would, one, you admitted he was the middleman, so he must have not been the mastermind if he wasn't funding it. Two, what Hovan's not necessary in this situation, you feel me? What he just explained, he made it like where Hovan was not necessary in how this thing went down. So he just kind of blew the whole mastermind plan up when he got on the stand. Some other things that were that helped Hovan in this case, I will say, I feel like, okay, so I think the parking of the car near Hovan's house, because obviously if you do remember, really all this shit, like, we always had like inklings that Big Juke was behind it, because obviously we know that CMG and PRE won't, seeing eye to eye, especially Young Dolph, because he never signed CMG. But we knew that was the whole thing. But the things that really drew eyes to Hovan is because, one, the car that was used in the shooting was parked 2 doors down from his house, and at first that looked very incriminating, but that ended up kind of really saving Hovan because, one, the logic of it. If I was really the mastermind in the plan, why would I, just randomly park the car 2 doors down from me? And as well as they were never able to tie any, information around the thing leading to Hovan. And actually said they didn't really talk to him around the date of the shooting. Like, it was like a 2-week window. They didn't talk to him around the shooting. So if he's the mastermind and you're not talking to him 2 weeks before the shooting and parking at his house, it just gives that nigga he had nothing to do with it, like, in all honesty. And it also would kind of drew to Hovan as well, as y'all remember his daughter got killed, like, not too long, maybe it was like a year, but not too long after Dolph got killed, his daughter got killed. So a lot of people, were thinking that was in retaliation and things of that sort. So that's what really drew the eyes towards Hovan. But like I said, some of that shit just, end up kind of helping him in the end, because Cornelius Smith, he botched it. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. The car, the non-communication, it was just a lot of things that you could tell that it was him. And basically with, obviously, they're not gonna blatantly outright say this, but I think I think is what if he got not convicted, it just kind of basically paints the picture that everybody thinks that Big Jook was the mastermind of it, and this basically dies with Big Jook. As I'm not even gonna, I don't know if I forgot when this happened. No, I think I talked about this, but what I said this is basically going to die with Big Jook. When Big Jook first died, that's what it gave. A lot of people were like, yo, God, he sacrificed his brother for the, basically so he wouldn't get a RICO and things of that sort. So that is true, but no, I mean not. I'm talking about not get the RICO part, not him sacrificing his brother. But I just, it's nuts. It was a nut ass situation, but like I said, Hogan has now been, you know, cleared of all charges, so he won't be serving criminal time. He said he's going to get out of Memphis, and I do believe that is the best thing for him because clearly he got tied up in some shit. And to me, looking at all the evidence and things aside, he got tied up in some shit that he really wasn't involved in. Yeah, he was hanging around them niggas, and maybe you shouldn't have been hanging around them niggas, but I don't think he at this time. I don't think he really had anything directly to do with the killing of him. I think it was definitely a big juke plan, and shit that is really over with now at this point. But obviously, it's hurting for somebody like Dolph's family to not get the justice they serve, especially, he doesn't get convicted. The guy that people is basically pointing the finger at now is not with us anymore. So it's really not helping. But I mean, it's a sad situation. But at the same time, I didn't want to see nobody who didn't do what they did get convicted, even if it was in the name of justice, because them details, it just sound like he had shit, nothing to do with it. But this is really all I gotta say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I did talk about the bill, and yeah.